Hello and welcome to the John Ark Show. Today we're going to interview actor Ed Begley Jr. He has appeared in hundreds of films, television shows, and stage performances. He's played Dr. Victor Ehrlich on the television series Saint Elsewhere. The role earned him 6 consecutive Primetime Emmy Award nominations and a Golden Globe nomination. He has also appeared in Blue Collar, An Officer and a Gentleman, Batman Forever, Pineapple Express, and many other great movies. Before we begin, I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel for free. You can also like, comment, and follow us. We're going to have a lot of great celebrity interviews coming up, so make sure to click on that notification bell so you can be notified every time we upload a new episode. Also, we ask that you post a link to today's show on all your social media to help spread the word. Now, let's say hello to Ed Begley Jr. Hi, Ed. Welcome to the John Ark Show. How are you today, sir?
Very good, John. It's nice to speak with you.
It's very nice to speak with you and meet you. Ed, you're known for the great body of work and appearances in countless hit movies and TV shows. But today, because of the actors' strike, we're going to discuss some other topics.
Thank you for that.
Sure. Now, you've achieved extraordinary longevity in the entertainment industry. As you watch what's happening in Los Angeles and across the country with all the crime and homelessness, what are your thoughts on what's happening across the U.S.?
I think we can do a lot better for our children and our grandchildren. I have both. I think we can have a better world for them if we put our minds to it. What we've done environmentally has been most unfortunate. And as you say, the crime and the people, the unhoused population, we have to do something so they're not literally left out in the cold. And I just think we can do a lot better. And I'm going to set my mind to it even more than I have in the past. And I've put a good deal of time into it already, but try to find new ways to make things better for those who need help today and in the future for my kids and grandkids.
What have been your greatest challenges in getting the message across to other people about the environment?
People understandably are a little skeptical of, some experts and skeptical in general of the government. And so that's unfortunate because now when you have something serious that's happening like climate change, they tend to disbelieve and think, oh, there's nothing happening. It's just a big hoax. When
Right.
indeed, in my opinion, the opinion of people who study it and have PhD after their name, there are some real problems that we have to deal with. And otherwise we'll have more fires, more drought, more. We've always had fires, wildfires, we've had drought and all those things in the past, but never so big and never so many. So that's our challenge going forward. And I think we can fix it. We just have to all pull together.
During the last massive raging California fire, one celebrity I know was driving down the freeway and he looked to his left and he could see this wall of fire racing him. And he said he was doing about 80 and the wall of flames was doing about 100 at one point, he realized. And I don't think people realize what it is to see a wall of flames moving at 100 miles an hour. It's catastrophic.
I never heard of such a thing. That's frightening. I didn't know that. That's quite alarming.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So do you still feel as safe in California as you have in years gone by?
I do. The area that I'm at in Studio City, it's not up in the hills, it's down the flats. So I'm relatively safe from fire. And I built a house out of steel. I didn't build it out of wood sticks. I built it out because I didn't want to take trees down to build a house. So I built it out of steel. And I have, very good insulation. I have a lot of water stored because I collect my rainwater and I have a great water system. So I'm not that worried for myself. I'm going to be fine, but I worry about the other people that don't have the luxury of doing such extravagant things as I've done. We need to make sure there's protections for other people. But look at the successes we've had in the past, John. When I started in 1970, we had horrible choking smog in LA, really bad. Now today we have 4 times the cars, millions more people, but a fraction of the smog. We've done that. You and I have done that together. We've cleaned up the air by insisting on cleaner power plants and cleaner vehicles and all that we did. We hoped that it would all work, and it all did work. So we can do that globally. We've done it with ozone depletion too, with banning CFCs. We all pull together. We can do great things. We just got to all pull together.
Now, I'm intrigued by the home you've built out of steel. Is that just the steel frame, or is it also the wall and the insulation? Is everything made out of steel?
The wall is made out of insulation. The wall is made out of steel, interior and exterior walls. There's 9 levels, 9 layers of like drywall and stucco and but the insulation itself is actually a foam. It's a very efficient insulation that they put in there and blow it into every crevice. So it really permeates that 12-inch thick wall. So you have great insulation. We have 4 separate zones for heating and air. So you can keep, if you're just up in your office or what have you, you're in the bedroom, you can keep that one area hot or cold depending on the time of year and not waste a whole house worth of energy. Very, very efficient.
This really intrigues me, and you don't have to answer this question if it's too personal. But if a normal brick and mortar or wood home costs X, how much more than X does it cost to build a steel home like yours?
A steel home would be 20% extra.
That's nothing when
So
you consider the safety.
the safety, and when you consider, people rebuilding again and again and again in Malibu, and they'll probably build again and again up in Northern California where they had those fires. How many times are you going to get an insurance check to rebuild? At some point, the insurance company's going to say, no way. And it's not just fire. There's no mold that grows on steel. There's no earthquake, no earthquake, but less earthquake danger because a screw is a stronger thing in holding 2 steel members together than a wooden nail. A nail in wood can be gradually rocked out of its position, but steel is very good with that. Not just mold, but water damage too. It doesn't have any water damage to it. It's a very good way to build a house, steel, I think.
Of all the celebrities I know, I don't think I know of a single one who's built a home out of steel, and a lot of them live in California. That's really interesting.
What's also interesting about it is that they build buildings out of steel all along Wilshire Boulevard, Ventura Boulevard, lots of Sunset Boulevard. Those are all made out of steel, but residential, somehow people that have it in their head, they have to build it out of sticks. And
Right.
you don't need to build a house out of sticks. You can do it the way they're doing for office buildings on Ventura, Wilshire Boulevard.
Now, the tax situation is a little unfortunate in California. Do you see that getting worse or better over time?
Well, I'm very lucky. I've done very well, having been an actor since 1967. So I don't mind paying my fair share at the upper end, but there should definitely be relief for people in the middle class and also for the people at the lower, very low end of the spectrum that have, very little to spare. So you got to protect the middle class. They're the real engine that drives the economy. But people like me can afford to pay a little extra, and I have no problem doing it.
Now, your father was an Academy Award-winning actor who appeared in classics like 12 Angry Men. Is he the reason you became an actor?
100%, John. If my dad had been a plumber, I'd be fitting pipe right now. I just wanted to do what my father did. And he was a wonderful conservative that liked to conserve. He taught me all the lessons about the environment, though he never used the word environmentalist. He was one, John, because we turned off the lights, we turned off the water, we saved string, we saved tinfoil. He was a son of Irish immigrants. He had lived through the Great Depression. And more importantly, when I would complain about the smog, John, I'd say, I hate the smog, Dad. I hate the smog. I'd keep saying it. He'd say, Eddie, I hate the smog too, but what are you doing about it? I know what you're against, but what are you for? Very interesting, the things you're against that you say no to, but what do you say yes to? You're going to help build a green car. You're going to take the bus more. You're going to ride your bike more. Do something. Don't just complain about things. Great man. I loved him dearly.
Did he ever take you to his movie sets while you were a child? And if so, what was your perception of him as an actor when you were a child? And what is your perception of him and his acting now as an adult when you look back on his movies or when you see them on cable, for example?
John, at some point, he asked me, I was riding in the car, we're in Beverly Hills, and he asked me, said, but no, someone else asked me, someone else was in the car, a friend or something. Somebody said, Eddie, who's your favorite actor? Certain of how I'd respond. I said, John Wayne's my favorite actor, whatever I said. And I never thought, how could I not say, but also my dad is a pretty great actor. I thought he was good, but I never really knew how good he was. I really think I did. I went into acting. I know I went into acting because it's what he did, but he made it look so easy, John. I had my head totally in the wrong place about it. I thought that, I thought that it was so easy. I didn't need to train. I didn't think I needed to go to school. You can imagine the son of a plumber going, Dad, you stay home today. I'm going to drive the truck and go do that job down on Main Street. You kind of, what do? You kind of fit the pipes together. Is that what you do? I had no training, no idea of what I was doing. Fortunately, I finally went and took some acting lessons. I trained and then I began to work.
That's the problem with acting. When it's done by masterful actors, it looks effortless. It looks like nothing's going on. It looks so real. People
I
don't
know,
realize.
and Sorry, John. And I labored under that delusion because my dad made it look so easy. I thought it was easy. It's anything but. You look at the craftsmanship, what people like Joaquin Phoenix, Daniel Day-Lewis, Meryl Streep, Viola Davis, what talents like that can do. It's out of my league. I'm a fine actor. I'm okay. I show up on time and I know my lines. I do an okay job. But people like that, they become the characters. They literally go through a transformation where you think you're looking at someone other than who's standing there. It's extraordinary.
Did your father live long enough to see your tremendous success?
He did not see me do much work at all as an actor. I did a bit of work as a cameraman. I was a camera assistant, first assistant cameraman, and eventually an operator on a few movies. But he saw that and he was very proud of me that I was working and making a good living as an assistant cameraman. That's all he cared about, that I have a job that I'd be taken care of when he passed away. And sadly, he passed away a short time after that, just a year or two. So I'm
Interesting.
glad we got to spend time together with me, beginning to have some modest success in life as just a working person.
Now, I don't know if you have any children or not, but if you do, have any of them pursued acting?
They've all three had an interest in it and tried it a bit. My daughter Hayden she still has an eye to do it. She's 24 now. She's been going out in interviews since she was 10 or 11. We've got her in different interviews.
Mhm.
And she did that reality show with us for a while. So she's very comfortable around a camera, but she's a beautiful, talented young lady, still wants to do it. And I believe that one day she will.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people believe that fame will lead to fortune and happiness, so they pursue these things online now with social media. As someone who has had fame and fortune for a long time, what is your perception of those things now?
That's the best question of the day, John. I really, I happen to be very happy at this point in my life, but my happiness has very little to do with the house I live in, with a car I drive, or anything like that, or a number in a bank account. It's about my friends, my family, the people I love. I have three wonderful children. I have three wonderful grandchildren. Those are the riches that I have. That's the bank account that I draw upon, the time with them. And I read a great book many years ago in the early 70s, and I started to implement it even then. And I've gotten very good about it now. The book is by someone called Alan Watts, and the book is called This Is It. And John, this is it, this moment right now with you, this wonderful moment. We're both seated here, listening to each other, sending good thoughts to each other, communicating with each other. This is as good as it gets. It really is sublime if you just live in the moment. You can still plan for tomorrow and remember yesterday so you don't repeat the same mistakes, but spend very little time in the future and the present. Spend as much time as you can right now in this moment, right down through the center of it as we're experiencing it. This is it, John, right now.
You know, when my mother had cancer many years ago, she was in and out of the hospital for operation after operation after operation, and I would go visit her every day. And I grew to love the people that worked in the cancer ward in the oncology department. The nurses were so honest, the physicians, the staff. You know, there's something about death that forces honesty out of you. It is
Yes,
amazing. When you're looking right at it, everything else falls away off into the distance.
I
And
agree.
and that really gave me an appreciation for what's important. And I'm wondering if maybe the lockdowns over the last few years has have forced that perception on other people. I suspect it has.
I suspect it has too.
So, last question. Arnold Schwarzenegger said recently that the California he knew years ago that gave him all of his opportunities no longer exists. Do you believe that to be true or not? Or do you believe that opportunities can be created at any time, at any place, by the right effort?
I think many opportunities have gone away, and he's right that California has definitely changed. Some of it for the worse, but some of it for the better. The air is a lot cleaner, and other good things have happened as well. But it's not the same. But opportunities for the entrepreneur out there, opportunities are out there for employees, for lots of different people, and I want to, help as many people as I can, members of my family and people I've never met. I want to help people have opportunities in film and television and in other ways of making a living. I think we can do it if we all cooperate.
Ed, it's been great having you on the John Ark Show. Before we wrap things up, is there something you can tell us about the new book you have?
Yes, it's called To the Temple of Tranquility and Step on It. And I actually tried to rush tranquility. Can you imagine the irony of that, John? Let me get tranquil. I mean, now, come on, why am I not tranquil? When did tranquility start? And I certainly didn't do very well trying to find tranquility in a bottle of vodka. That's not tranquility, that's numbness. If you get numb, you can't experience anything, good or bad. So I would just once again cite that Alan Watts book title, which is This Is It. This moment right now is it. And I urge people to don't just do something, stand there.
And where can people get your book?
You can get it online at Amazon. You can get it at Target. You can get it at Barnes & Noble. Just look Ed Begley book. Just type in those words online in any search engine. Ed Begley book. It'll pop right up.
Ed, you and I have never met before or done business before. I'm a producer. I used to be an Oprah producer, but I now understand why you've had such tremendous career success and longevity. You really seem to have your priorities straight.
You too, my friend. It's great to meet you and talk to you.
Ed, I want to thank you for coming on the John Ark Show. I want to wish you all the best to you and your family. And you're always welcome back on the show, my friend. Bye-bye.
Thank you, John.